Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to D Mace's Rant. I'm D Mace, your ranter, and this is the Rant Nation. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, guys. Hope you guys had a great day here in beautiful Delaware. It was a very nice day today. Yeah, but I'm on here tonight to talk about Reasonable Doubt. We're catching up on Reasonable Doubt. As you can see, a few months ago, I did a video on Reasonable Doubt. They are in their second season now. And spoiler alert, if you have not seen this, log out, come back later. If you've seen this or you don't care about spoilers, you're like me, then stay tuned. So we're going to talk a little bit about Reasonable Doubt. So Reasonable Doubt is actually aired on Hulu, and it's a good show that we checked out. I do like that. I'll talk about the things that I do like about this show and the things that I don't like about this show. Well, basically, it stars I can't even say her name, Imatsi Corineldi. Imatsi Corineldi, who is playing the star character, who is Jack Stewart. Her husband is played by McKinley Freeman, who plays Lewis. Now, Lewis was actually he was in people like us or people like me, something like some show like that. I love that show though. But anyway, so he plays it, and he plays her husband. Then also they added Morris Chestnut when the last season came, so he's in this as well. I do like this. He plays Corey Cash, who's this hotshot lawyer. He comes from a legacy of this hotshot lawyer, and he's like really proud and puffed up and things like that. And he says he's the best and he's the baddest, and he actually is. He can prove it. Him and Jax are dynamite, on this show. So anyway, spoiler alert. So as you see in the last season, they had Janelle, who was played by Shannon Kane, who was accused of murdering her husband, her football star husband, who was very violent. And she was accused of murdering because he was trying to kill her in the last season. And the only thing you saw in that last season was panning where he was laying on the ground and he was bleeding. And a statue or a trophy was, sitting to the side or something like that. She took the blame on, and she said she did it. So anyway, she was tried. She was put in jail for that. And then they started that whole process. Now, the interesting thing about this is there came a place where Jax was kind of like, she wasn't believing her. She wasn't believing her friend. She was like, this is not adding up. And you're hiding something. You're not telling me everything. And so, Chanel just stuck to her story. She's like, yeah, I did it. I don't know what you're talking about. Yada, yada, yada. She's going through the court cases and all this other kind of stuff and everything like that. Well, finally, Jax finds out, and it clicks to her that, spoiler alert, it clicks to her that her daughter killed her father, her husband, or Janelle's husband. Because she came in the house. She saw him trying to kill Janelle, and she hit him on the head just out of a reaction. Hit him in the head with the trophy, and he didn't die immediately, but he died like a few minutes after that. So Janelle was like, she's going to take on the brunt of that. She's going to take on that weight. She told her daughter, look, you're in school, da 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 da. You're young, you got your whole life ahead of you. I'm going to take this. You go ahead. And she did a whole setup. Anyway, Jax found out that was actually what happened, is that her daughter killed the husband. And so Janelle refused, because she told her cousin. Her cousin also was holding a secret, which actually tore her family apart with the whole thing. But anyway, so Janelle just refused to go with that story. She was like, no, we're sticking with this. I am going to take this, and we're going to try to get me off and, do whatever we need to do. Anyway, Jax and Corey are sitting there working hard, trying to get. Now, they've got this woman who works for the government. She's a district attorney, and she's hardcore. But the crazy thing is, she's also been an abused woman too. So they were trying to figure out, like, why have you been abused in your own self? Why are you coming so hard after her? Anyway, she had her reasons. Well, so what ended up happening is they did end up getting her out. They did end up getting her dismissed because Jax got to the DA and she talked to her. And the DA's, she plays a hardcore person. She played on Teen Wolf too. She played the mother. I liked her. She was pretty cool. Anyway, so she got to the DA and she talked to the DA and told the DA, look, because she already got convicted. The juror came out and said that she was, manslaughter. She was guilty of manslaughter. So it was 10 years. So she didn't want to do the 10 years. And they're like, yo, come on. She didn't do this. Let's get something going on. This really isn't her. So anyway, she got to the DA, and the DA went and talked to the judge behind the scenes. After all of that, they got Janelle off. So Janelle got back home with her family, everything like that. Janelle's mother-in-law was something else, because she knew what her son was capable of, because she was abusive to her son. And this was an evil lady. But anyway, so they got Janelle off, and there's that. The other thing I like about this show is that it shows, even though there is a somewhat of a protagonist and an antagonist, somewhat, you still see the flaws even in the hero of the story. Jax, for instance, she's flawed. She's very good at her job. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to do what she's doing. She loves her job. She loves her family, but she's flawed. She has trauma that she's dealing with from her past, from her growing up with her stepfather and all this other kind of stuff. And then also even things that she had gone through. So now she's in counseling and she's taking medication for stress and things like that, because she's been traumatized by a lot of different things. And also at the same time still working on her marriage with her husband, because that wasn't perfect, because she stepped out on her husband stepped out on her. Her husband got somebody pregnant while he was stepping out, but they were not together at that time. But it turned out to be a huge mess. But you see them like working together. You see them like working this out, and they're going to counseling and things like that. And the counselor's like, he ain't playing. He's getting with some questions. And so they're sticking this out and they're working through this. So their marriage is getting a little bit better now. So you see that. So I like that dynamic of it, where you see, not perfect people. You don't see a shining star of anything and everything. And even with their children, where they're dropping the ball a little bit with their kids and they're working that out. You know what I'm saying? Because as a parent, it's hard, especially when you have a career and you have a demanding career. And both parents are working. Both parents have demanding careers, and you're still trying to work on the things that you're trying to work on your kids, work on your all kind of stuff. And so some things slip through the cracks. Doesn't make it right, but some things do slip through the cracks. So you see them dealing with that as well. Then she messes around and sleeps with Corey Cash, who is Morris Chestnut's character in The Office, a couple times. But then they decide that, okay, we're going to remain professional. We're just going to keep this professional. We're going to be doing no more fooling around, all of that other kind of stuff. So anyway, they tapped it out with that. So that was the last season. And I don't know if it's coming back. I don't know. The way that it ended was kind of like a hurrah of everything. Because everything you kind of see went good. Things were going well. And like, it's almost kind of like the happy ending, if you will. But what happens is Lewis and Jax get sued by the woman who got pregnant by Lewis and had the baby. She ended up losing the baby because she had him prematurely. She ended up losing the baby. And so she got mad because Lewis didn't know how to handle that loss. It was a very hard loss for him, and he didn't know how to handle that loss. And she was just ready to get right to it, get into this. Let's get this going. And he didn't know how to handle it. Anyway, she got mad about that, and she was like, "Look." So she sued both of them, because they tried to get involved with her with the baby and things like that. It is a mess. So I don't know if there's going to be another season. I'm certainly hoping there is. This is a good show. There's a lot of different things that you could do with this, but I enjoyed it. So let me know what you guys think about this. It is Reasonable Doubt. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hey, hey.